Getting your first sale on Amazon may be the hardest part, but getting your first 10, that's where your momentum really starts to happen. Because once Amazon starts seeing those buyers clicking, buying, responding to your listing, that is when they know that you're doing something right. And it gets a whole lot easier to build from there. In this video today, I'm gonna walk you through the things that I would do differently if I were starting from scratch today. No fluff, no, I'll just keep posting on Instagram or other social medias. Just a step-by-step strategy to help you as a handmade seller. Let's jump in. Number one, start with the right product. If I were trying to get my first 10 sales, I would not start with my most complicated product. I would start with a product that is easy for me to make, easy to describe in a listing, easy to photograph, and easy for buyers to understand what to do with that product. This is not the time to list your most complicated, one-of-a-kind, customized products. You want a product that has a clear use case and a clear set of buyers. Because your first 10 sales are not about making money, it's about collecting data. You're wanting to see what gets clicked, what gets added to cart, what gets purchased, what buyers shy away from. And you want to see whether or not your listing is doing its job. You want to start with your clearest, easiest to ship product to get you moving. The second thing is making sure your listing is built to convert. A lot of sellers think that just getting listed is the hardest part, but a live listing is not the same as a listing that is ready to sell. If I were starting from scratch, I'd focus on the basics. A title. You want to make it clear who the item is for, what the item is used for, where it can be used, and Amazon has some best practices for an effective title. You want to start with your brand name and your product type. You want to include key variations like maybe color or sizing. And this just points out a few of the things that are best practice. Your first photo needs to be easy to understand and clearly identify what's for sale, even on mobile. The requirement of the main photo is that it be on a true white background and that the product encompasses at least 85% of that thumbnail. The main image should be high resolution for that zoomability factor, and any clothing, apparel items must be on a model and not just laying on a table. Your bullet points. These should be very much an answer to buyers' questions without just repeating what's in the title. They should highlight core features and benefits of the item, and they should list things that are important like dimensions or colors or use cases. The information should be kept informative but concise. Then your keywords. You want to use words that your buyers will actually type into the search field. Keywords should be included in your title and your bullet points, but the keywords box is where you can add more of those keywords that don't necessarily fit in the description of the item. And your bullets and your titles and your descriptions shouldn't just be a place to stuff your keywords. Those should be readable by buyers. So your pricing. You don't have to be the cheapest in your category, but you also don't want to be the highest priced. You want something that makes sense for your category and is competitive at the same time. Price that displays on Amazon is the price that is what the item costs before shipping and taxes. So keep that in mind. If you're not sure how to price your product, you can always search Amazon yourself and start getting some ideas on how other items in those categories are priced. One thing to note is that because you're handmade, your items can support a slightly higher cost. So if you're comparing yourself to mass-produced items, like for say candles, you can always add a few dollars and it won't deter your buyers, or it shouldn't if that's what they're really looking for. You can always adjust your prices as you gain sales. And this is something that I did with my first FBA product. I only listed one or two things. I picked one after a few weeks that I thought would work well in FBA. Worked very hard to get that item in stock at the Amazon warehouses, and then watched it fly off the shelf. And I thought to myself, what the heck just happened? So I worked all weekend making more items, getting those ready to list. Once they got into the warehouse, I upped the price, and then I kept upping the price as the items were selling to find that sweet spot of the number of sales that I could manage and the price that was listed in the store. If your listing is confusing or the photos are blurry or it's just not explained well, Amazon can't force people to buy it. So keep in mind that your first 10 sales comes from a strong listing, not just wishful thinking. The third thing is you're gonna start small and you're gonna learn fast. If I were brand new, I would not list 50 products at once. And I definitely did not do this when I was starting my store. I started with a few solid listings and I wanted to see what happened. Why? Because if something is wrong with your shipping settings or your listing itself, like your photos or your title or your backend setup, it's much easier to fix this on 1 to 3 listings rather than 25 to 50. Starting smaller allows you to learn without making such a huge mess. One thing to note is I did need to adjust my shipping prices when I first got started on Amazon. I didn't have my shipping profile set up correctly. So by having 1 to 2 items listed, it was easier for me to fix and I didn't lose a lot of money up front with them being set up incorrectly. The fourth thing is you may want to consider Prime earlier than you think. This is a big one. And if I was starting over from scratch, I would do exactly what I did last time. I would get a couple of items listed up on the website, give them time to get in the algorithm, and then I would choose one or both to put into FBA or fulfilled by Amazon. Not every product is going to be a perfect fit for FBA, but what if it is? This can change everything about your listing and it can change how people buy your listing. Prime helps because buyers trust the faster shipping and that the fact that it's coming directly from Amazon. A lot of buyers will filter by Prime when they search for items, and Amazon will handle all the fulfillment for you. This means that your product becomes more appealing right away. Even if you're not ready to send every item into Amazon, because I still don't send every item in, it's a great way to get 1 or 2 listings up and start gathering some data on your products. For me, Prime was the total turning point of my business and when I started selling hundreds of products a day as opposed to 5. The fifth thing you want to do is focus on your buyer intent and not just traffic. A lot of people will panic if they don't see huge traffic numbers right away. But to be honest, I would rather have 20 highly relevant buyers that are actually going to click on my listing and most likely purchase than 200 impressions that don't go anywhere. Your goal is to not just get traffic, but to get the right traffic so that you can generate sales. So some things to ask yourself: is this product something people are actively searching for? Does the title match how my buyers search? Do the photos make sense to someone who is seeing this item for maybe the first time? Does the listing make it easy to say yes to the item? Your first 10 sales usually come from alignment. The right product in front of the right buyer with the right presentation. Number 6, watch what happens and adjust. So once your listings are live, you want to monitor them and look at what is impressions and clicks are being driven to your product. If I were looking for my first 10 sales, this is what I would be watching for. Which products are getting views? Which ones are getting clicks? Which ones are converting? Whether I'm getting reviews or feedback on those items, and whether or not buyers seem confused. Then you can use that data to make small improvements. Some things that you can adjust: updating the title, updating the description, reworking some of your bullet points, adding search words to your keyword box, and maybe adjusting your price. Like I said, mine started flying off the shelves. I had to adjust so that I could, 1, recoup my fees, and 2, give myself time to keep up with the demand. Amazon rewards you for relevance and performance. The more you improve what your buyers see, the higher your chances of building momentum. Amazon also gives recommendations on your Seller Central homepage. So when you scroll to the bottom after a couple of weeks of being active, there may be some recommendations down in that bottom box of ways to improve your listings, either updating photos, changing descriptions, adding more photos, running ads, or becoming brand registered, adding A+ content. There's lots of recommendations that Amazon can make on your individual products. The seventh thing, don't expect magic. I need to say this because it matters. Getting your first 10 sales on Amazon is not just because you listed a product and you got lucky. And it usually doesn't happen overnight. It could take a couple of weeks for the right buyers to find your products. And this happens because you set things up correctly. You chose strong products to put in the marketplace. You optimized your listings when you saw the relevant data, and you keep improving on your listings instead of giving up too early. Amazon is powerful, but it is not magic. It works best when you treat it like a business. This means you must be willing to learn, optimize, test new things, and stay consistent. Number 8. So this is the exact strategy that I would use if I were starting from scratch. So let's kind of summarize what we've talked about in this video. I would choose 1 to 3 really strong products. I would make sure the listings are clear, they're really good photos, and that you've got good, strong keywords to start with. I would price them competitively, ensure my shipping is set up correctly. I would consider whether 1 or 2 of those items could go into Prime. I would let those listings gather data first, and then I would repeat this process with any new listings that I decided to put inside Amazon. That's how you get your first 10 sales. Not by trying everything at once, but doing the right thing in the right order. If you've ever done any kind of experiment, you know that if you change too many things at one time, you don't know what worked and what didn't. So be careful when you're updating things that you only change 1 or 2 things and you don't go crazy with all the updates. If you're working on getting your first 10 sales, sometimes it just takes time for things to click. And if something's not quite clicking yet, maybe there's 1 or 2 things you can adjust to kind of get it in front of the right buyers. And if you would like to get a second set of eyes on your shop, I offer shop audits where I can walk through your shop or your listings and give you some feedback on what things you might need to change. I'll have the shop audit page linked down in the description box below. And if you're not there yet, that's totally fine. Keep testing, playing around with your listings, and maybe picking new products to put up on Amazon, and keep learning from what's working and what's not. And I'd love to know down in the comments below, where are you at with your Amazon journey? Are you just getting set up? Have you made 1 sale? Have you made 10? I would love to know and love to help you generate sales on your Amazon storefront. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.